And we're back.
Woohoo!
It's yet another episode of the Tiltcast. It's an M-rated show. I'm Nauss.
I'm Jason, and we're Sands of Rusty.
Yep. The two of us, you're going to get about, who knows amount of times worth of bullshit.
Oh, shit.
But some games, some news. Switching up, we've had a lot go on. I think we explained a little bit of that last episode. I would say from about mid-March till about now, that being late May. Things been pretty nutty. But me and Jason are going to keep going on here for a little bit. Keep you guys a little bit more old school, because that's what we like doing. We've got a lot going on, but Jason, you been up to anything interesting?
We do have a lot going on, and, not a ton interesting, just dealing with family life. As the year winds down and everything, I did, between Mother's Day, spending Mother's Day doing tree work up at my mother-in-law's to just getting the kids through the last of the school year. Not a whole ton outside just work. I did, at your guys' insistence, end up getting into Slay the Spire 2 over the last few weeks.
Yeah. Me and the girlfriend have been playing a lot of that. I looked at my timer the other day, and I'm at 140 hours, I think. I play that almost every night.
Yeah, and it's been great. I like the obvious time and care that they put into, like the attack animations and stuff like that. They're definitely welcome additions. I do like I really like the challenge that a lot of the bosses and elites have been, though several of the elites kind of feel a little broken, if I'm honest. Some of them are a little too tough. But I have, regardless, really been enjoying my time with it. I've currently got all of the characters unlocked, though I have yet to beat 4-3 with any of them.
You'll get there.
And unlike with the first game, where I felt like I got through the game with the poison character easier on the first game, that character feels a whole lot harder to complete the game with now. So maybe a shift in
I can give you some
shift in game balance a little bit tougher for that character. But
I can give you some tips, not just on that character, but any of the characters. All of them have have several different core abilities. Mm-hmm. And as you get your early cards, kind of the idea is to, so we'll pick the silencer you're talking about.
Yeah.
And there's several different builds that you can build with silent. You can build a discard build, or a slide build is what it's called. So every time you discard something, you don't have to play the cost of said card. You can play a card build of that, meaning a draw build, which can work with a slide build, which is based around a central power where if you draw cards, you can get two things. You get block and damage based on how many cards you draw, and it stacks. The slide build is every time you discard a card that says Sly, it plays it at 0 cost. So you play cards that discard another card. So you can place multiple cards in a single turn. You can play a poison build and just go straight poison, or you can play a shiv build. I'm sure there's one other build that I haven't tried yet. Shiv build's based around buffing your shivs and just getting tons and tons and tons of shivs. so that you can just annihilate stuff. Like there's a shiv card that lets you use all the shivs at once in your discard pile. So if you've been shiving for like 3-4 turns, right, and you've got 10 shivs in your pile, it uses all 10 shivs on that same character. Yeah. It just bursts stuff down. Well, there's a build
I could tell you, obviously, the shiv build works quite a bit different than what it did in the first game, because you basically had to combine that with poison in the first game. I realized very quickly that that wasn't the way to go in this one.
You spread yourself out too thin. So, like, for example, on the poison build, I was playing poison this morning while I was waiting on my girlfriend to wake up. And with the poison build, there's a card that lets you build additional poison if something has already taken poison, and there's a card that lets it trigger twice every turn. So if you got 8, every time it ticks down 1 less. So let's say I have 8 poison on a character. When I play that reapply card, does the 8 poison first, then 7 poison on the next turn. So it ticks it twice, which is incredibly effective. But if I had spread myself out, I wouldn't be getting those poison cards in sequence. I'm at Ascension level 4 with the Silent right now. It's pretty hard. But that's one of the things that we learned is we were building these really bloated decks, like 40 cards plus, and we'd just get to a point where we weren't balanced enough with our deck to get a block when we needed it, or defend when we needed it, or attack when we needed it. So with that game, you kind of want to keep your build lean, and then you want to remove a block and a defend every time that you go to the card shop, or find a way to get rid of them, or upgrade them, right? So if you have upgraded blocks and defense, they're not bad, but it's a weird balance. It's a weird deck builder. It's a really good deck builder. There are some bosses that are really hard. Every single situation, if you take too long, will kill you. You have to be okay with taking some damage every fight. Block everything every turn. Like every enemy has some kind of enrage mechanic. So if you're at like 7 turns with an enemy, chances are they're at like 10 extra strength. And even this cute little goober of an enemy is like doing like 18 damage a hit or something stupid. So everything's a little bit of a DPS race in that game. Or they're, playing cards that do status effects on you, and you got so many of those cards in your pile now that you can't play regular cards. But
yeah, I noticed that pretty quick. But I've been trying to find my way organically without asking for too many tips. And just having fun with it. I don't know about the summoner character though. I'm still kind of trying to figure it out.
Are you talking about the Necrobinder?
Yes.
There's a few key builds with that. The most powerful build is the Osti build, which is the summon build. The reason that's great is because your summon, isn't affected by debuffs. And they can take hits for you, so every bit of damage that hits hits the summon first for the most part, then it hits you. And your summon's health builds between sessions. So like if you got 20 health in that summon, right, takes 7 damage, now you've got 13 health. That lasts into the next round, which is super important. It's better than block. But, the summon builds are pretty crazy because he can just absorb everything for you and do some crazy damage too. So you that's probably the best. I'd say it's probably the best Necrobinder build total is probably the summon build. Although there's a Doom build. Doom's a whole different mechanic that's pretty hard to kind of figure out. It works okay, but Poison's honestly way better. Kind of feel like they need to rework Doom to do something else other than tick after the enemy plays their turn, because like Poison plays before the enemy plays. Doom, on the other hand, waits till the enemy plays, then applies. And all you're doing is lowering the max health of a character. So I feel like if character is below max health by the time that by the time it's their turn, they shouldn't be alive. And that really should be a thing.
Yeah. True. And just the overall the overall difficulty of this game's definitely ramped, but I mean, still really, really enjoyable. So just going to keep grinding in it and until I figure out what works best.
Well, if you haven't already, I know Game Pass price has dropped considerably. I say considerably by several dollars. Subnautica 2's on Game Pass right now. I know there's a whole lot of extra stories around Subnautica 2. Not really the point. Point is, it feels like more Subnautica. I've got, 10 hours in it so far. I've been kind of plucking at it a little bit. It's a pretty good game. Like, it, again, I've already kind of got a little base going. I'm already, trying to find where the next, tech tree stuff is. The abilities are different. You have if you get too sick, so, you have to absorb, you have to rewrite your DNA by finding certain items on the planet that let you rewrite your DNA. So, at first you can't eat until you touch something that, you absorb, it rewrites your DNA. Now you can eat all of a sudden, right? You can't breathe enough. The air pressure is too high, so you have to alter your DNA at the very beginning of the game to get yourself into a place where you can actually breathe air. It's strange, but I don't know how far out it goes yet, but I'm going to try. I think, it's still kind of the same thing, right? You go scan things, and it gives you the blueprint unlock. There's materials all over the place. All of your basic materials are basically where you thought they would be. Quick tip is quartz is found in the coral. Look on the shiny side where the pearls would be, and you'll find your quartz. Really big thing for me for a while because I was having such a hard time with the quartz. But the overall Subnautica though is I think it sold 4 million units. I think it's because people are really, really, really ready for a survival game like that. There's nothing quite like Subnautica. Yeah, the pre-sequel or whatever they did before in between games. It's alright, but I never went back to it like I went back to Subnautica proper. Subnautica proper, I've probably played through several times in the early access, and then finally released, I played the hell out of it.
Yeah.
It's not a particularly hard game, it's just there's always progression and exploration. That's a pretty cool thing. But Subnautica 2 is more Subnautica, and I don't think anybody's going to hate on that. A lot of the same kind of tactics, right? A little bitty opening in the rocks leads to a huge underground chamber or underwater chamber. So I just got my diving upgrade. I got to figure out this diving elevator or whatever that I just unlocked and see what that does. But Subnautica 2 is freaking awesome. Oh. Yeah, and in the world of games, that's honestly what I've been playing. Do you wanna take a quick break and then we'll talk about the news for a minute?
Sure.
Alright guys, we'll be right back.